to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
And this is our spoiler talk review for Joker. Before you went into the movie, what were your expectations?
Very low. DC to me sucks. Like, just straight up sucks. Comic books are great. The animated series are great. But as far as movies, they suck. So, like, my expectations were low. It's like, I don't want to give this high expectations, and it's not going to meet them. So my expectations were low. I saw one commercial for the Joker, and I was like, this looks like crap. And everybody in the world was like, oh, this. I swear, at youth group, everybody's like, dude, did you see the Joker trailer? I was like, yeah, it sucked. And like, what are you talking about? I'm like the only person in the world that's not interested in the Joker.
Yeah, I went in with mixed expectations. I was excited about it. I'm a bit more optimistic about DC than Cholo Nerd here. He's normally my Marvel guy. I bring him on for Marvel stuff. But like, there's a lot of stuff in the DCEU that I really like, and a lot of stuff that I really...
You left me in a black hole of rage and confusion.
I kind of have two grades for this. As a film, I gave it an A because it is a well-made film. Well-directed by Todd Phillips. Joaquin Phoenix, I thought, was brilliant in that role because he really unsettled you to the core whenever he was on screen.
Yeah.
It takes talent to do that. He was really solid as he did this slow descent into madness. The musical score was incredible and how it really kind of just would play with the mental states that Arthur Fleck was in. So as a movie, A. For me personally, I drop it a whole letter grade B.
Feel the same way. I gave it like a B minus C plus type of thing. Like, it was okay. Like, was it better than my expectations? Yes. It took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is like the perfect weirdo because in real life he's a weirdo. And I really hope he like resurrects his hip hop career he had for a while, But him as the Joker was great. I don't know, just that movie was just really dark, and there's nothing wrong with dark movies. No. I get the Joker, obviously, in the comic books, he's not all there, but like I just feel like they didn't leave any hope to this movie, but it makes sense because I think of the Dark Knight trilogy. And what does Ra's al Ghul say? He says, The
city has become a breeding ground for suffering and injustice. It is beyond saving and must be allowed to die.
Batman always tried to argue otherwise.
Yes.
But Joker kind of proved it in this movie because he stood up as the small guy that always got spit on and beat up. And a whole city rised with him.
Yeah. And it was an accidental rising.
Yeah.
Because it was just three guys that were beating him up in a subway because they were jerks. Let's just put, this is a place where you could actually pity Arthur Fleck. He has a mental illness. He can't control his laughter. He was trying so hard to suppress it in the subway. You could feel for him. That sucked. And it sucked even more that in his state of mind, he whipped out a gun and killed them, and then it got spun in the press as a clown takes down the rich people and became a movement. That was crazy.
Yeah, all by mistake. But the one thing that bothered me this whole movie, that just straight up bothered me, they kept saying he had this condition where he laughs when he's under like stress or sad times, like it doesn't display his emotions. That kind of just came and gone as he wanted. Because when the cops were questioning him, he was in a state of emotion, like he was all chill, like.
Oh, at the hospital.
Yeah, and he's like. He's like, what about this laugh? Whatever. Like, it's like, dude, usually every time you've been in a situation with that mom. I'm glad you said that. Because the mom lectured him when he was making the faces to the little kid. And he starts laughing because he was put under the spotlight.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the cops put him under the spotlight, and he's just all, I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta go tend to my mom. It's like, what? Like, his personality was.
But here's something interesting about that. I didn't think about this until you said this. If you look, anytime he's genuinely uncomfortable, nervous, and scared, he can't control the laughter, and it's just coming out.
Yeah.
But anytime he feels like he's got nothing left to lose, and he's not as scared, and he's a bit more relaxed, like his mom was in the hospital, that's where his mind was, and when the cops came, that didn't bother him because his mind was somewhere else. So it's kind of interesting, like, because he didn't even laugh a super ton in his interview with Robert De Niro. I mean, he did. But it's like you felt there was more of a measure of control, and it's because in that scene, he was embracing the madness that we know is the Joker. And so he had the whole mentality. I have nothing left to lose.
Yeah. I love how he walks in there for the interview and just straight up kisses the old lady, like, right on the lips, just for, like, a good, like, 30 solid seconds. Like, talk about uncomfortable. But, hey, he made his mark right there, but then he really made a mark. All over the wall.
Oh, gosh, yeah, all over, everywhere. You know you have a really dark movie where the brightest part of it is where we watch Bruce Wayne's parents die again.
That movie was just really dark, really different. And, you know, what I liked is there was a lot of shock factor to it.
There was a lot of shock
Like
factor.
when his mom, you know, she would kind of make a comment about him, you know, not being able, like basically about his disabilities. And you could tell it hurt him deep.
Yes.
So she made a couple comments, but then she mentions the letter. And then he reads the letter and finds out, hey, that, you know, Thomas Wayne's my dad. And so that gave you like a shock factor, like, oh, bom, bom, bom.
Yeah, like what's this gonna mean for now the DC universe moving forward? The Joker's a half brother to Batman. Whoa.
And then the plot gets even deeper. Then he confronts him, and Thomas Wayne goes, "You're not my kid. Like I never slept with your mom. Like you're adopted." Then he goes and does his homework. He's adopted. You know, it's like, bom, bom, bom. Like,
yep.
The biggest shock factor to me, and probably to you too,
the
whole theater was, so he goes on their version of, you know, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and tells his story, tells them, you know, about him murdering everybody and telling him about his sickness and how sick it is, how this world is sick, this city's sick. They glorify the rich but laugh at the poor, and then confronts the Robert De Niro and blows his brains out on live TV. That was like the biggest shock factor, and like I did like those shock factors because they keep you, they keep you like, oh dude, did he just do that? Like no. So those shock factors were great. Like they were great at setting those up.
No, I agree with you 100%. All those setup for those shocking moments were fantastic. Like I couldn't figure that the Robert De Niro interview was going to end good. Like you're watching it and it's building. You feel the tension. What's it building to? Is he going to kill Robert? Is he going to kill everybody? What's going to happen? But he just whipping out that gun and shooting him right in the head. It was shocking. The other thing, so the girl that he liked.
Yeah, Domino from Deadpool.
You know, it's funny because like I was kind of happy for him when she was taking an interest in him when they went on their date, and I was thinking this is odd because everybody else finds him kind of off-putting, but this is kind of nice. Why am I feeling suspicious? And then we get the shock factor.
Yeah.
He made it all up in his head, just like his mom made up in her head the whole thing of her and Thomas Wayne, and made up so much stuff that it left him chained to a radiator as a kid, abused by, you know, her boyfriend or husband or whatever that was. It's like, it just kind of shows you that whatever was going on with him, he inherited from her. And so the kind of shock value of that.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, oh, geez, like, maybe there's going to be a point in there because there's a scene like he goes, what does he do? He kills the people on the train. Then he goes over there straight to her house and, like, they make love or whatever.
Yeah, it's like.
So I was thinking Heath Ledger was being made.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, you know, and then I was thinking, these are all the things that were going through my head because the movie's kind of slow in the beginning. And so I had a lot of time to think, and I instantly thought, you know, she's going to die in this movie, and it's going to be him and Heath Ledger, and he's going to beat him and put a smile on his face as a kid. But no, it didn't do that at all. It was just all made up in his head that he had this girlfriend, you know. It's like, oh, boy. That was a good plot twist right there, too.
That was a good plot twist. But you bringing that up actually brings up something else interesting that's worth talking about, because at this point, we don't really know where the DCEU is going. We know it's got to be a soft reboot.
Yeah.
So we know it's kind of going there. We know Abrams has come in to Warner Brothers in DC, and, you know, J.J. Abrams will make some changes. But to me, you have this Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman taking place in the 90s, and this takes place in the 80s. That is no coincidence to me.
No, not at all.
So now, I'm not saying Joaquin Phoenix is going to come back as the Joker, because everything I know about him, he doesn't really do sequels, so this might be the end of it, but, like, we saw what his Joker inspired, so will that Joker inspire somebody to take that mantle and then that person faces Robert Pattinson, therefore solidifying these events as part of a DCEU soft reboot.
This is their time, DC's time to reboot and set, since the Marvel is on a pause now.
Yes.
Like, they got things going on that's going to continue, but their first chapter and phase is over with.
Yes.
The Infinity Saga is done.
Yeah.
This is your time to start building, you know, and so they need to do it now, and they need to select the right people. Make them sign like 30-year contracts or something, but because there's nothing worse than having to recast.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. That is very true. Well, what is your final grade once more?
B minus, C plus.
Yeah. And I think my final grade is a B. It's a good movie. I did enjoy it. It's just, man, it leaves you walking out feeling very unsettled. And it does a good job doing that. So, what did you think of Joker? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it live up to the hype? I feel like it might have been a little bit overhyped, but nonetheless, like, it's still a well-made film. So what did you think? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for our next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else we do here. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.